Hi, welcome to Gail's Garden, Herbs and More. I want to show you a few things that I've been doing, even if the apocalypse hasn't happened yet, or you haven't lost your job yet, or whatever. Hopefully not. We need to be familiarizing ourselves with plants, especially those that grow on their own. So today I wanted to share not only some of my garden plants that I'm using, but also I want to share with you about a couple of the wilder ones that grow on their own that are highly nutritious. The bugs don't seem to like as well as your garden plants. And they just grow on their own. They just pop up. I don't know where they come from sometimes, but they're just wonderful plants, highly nutritious, the whole thing. Get familiar with them now. Use them now. You probably get more vitamins and minerals from those than any plant you could grow. So, and they're good mixed in with all the other ones that you do grow. So just be careful that you know what they are. If you can't really identify them that well with my video, then look them up online, look up pictures at them, and make sure maybe go on a herb walk or something with a local herbalist or whatever till you feel confident you know what these plants are. But the ones I show today are very commonly grow in your yard. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Bye now. Well, here we go. You'll see more as we go. Don't run off. Okay, you might say, what's that? I think I'm going to do myself a little stir fry. Now, what's interesting is a lot of this is, it's stuff out of my pots, but some of it is like, this right here is chickweed, and this right here, sow thistle, or some people call it pigweed. As that's growing pretty good right now too. Now, let me show you something. Yeah, let's go down here. That little tiny purple thing you've seen in the basket is a little bit of an eggplant. I went ahead and picked it because I just don't know how long that eggplant's going to last. I picked it up, put it in my wagon, and hauled it down here. And then when I was taking it out, and then it was hard to get up, and it took everything I had. It slipped, and a corner of it smashed my big toe. Let me say that hurt. But anyway, it's that big one there. I got it in here. This is my little dog kennel that I put plastic around. It looks like there's holes in the plastic up there. I need to cover those and pin that up there. It's coming loose. We've had a lot of wind lately. Not right at the moment, but at night, the last few nights, the wind comes in. Yeah, I had the little eggplant growing here, and it's looking a little droopy from the cold. Eggplant doesn't usually grow in the cold. I'm surprised this thing is still alive. Now, there was, I don't know where it went to now. Maybe it fell off. There was another little tiny one growing, but I don't see it right now. It might be behind a leaf. They tend to hide from me. There's a blossom right here. This was the most prolific eggplant I have ever grown. Of course, I haven't grown a whole lot of eggplants, and it's been a few years, but this thing has just, one plant has given me tons. I don't even know how many eggplants, and it's still trying to, and it's almost December, just a few days away from December, so that's kind of cool. And then have a calendula flower coming up. I picked a couple small ones from another pot outside. I picked a huge one of these the other day. I forget the name of this pepper. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But I've got some more little ones trying to come in here too. And I just picked, so I was saying, I picked over here. I had a huge one. So, and I'm trying to keep them alive in here. And it's down a little bit. There's a hill kind of a back of this part way up. And then the creek is on this side over here. So I'm hoping the cold wind doesn't hit it as bad. And it gets pretty warm in the day, but it gets pretty cold at night. Like, I get up and my car is iced over and I have to yank and break the ice to get my doors open. Okay, there's my creek down there. That's just right outside the door here of my little mini greenhouse. And let me show you some of the plants I'm working with. Okay, they had to dig up my whole yard and fix the septic, so there's not much grass now. It's not as pretty. I stuck several plants under this glass table. And, yeah, some zinnias and all kinds of things. I picked a couple small calendula underneath there. This one's not really under the table, but it's a cold weather plant. I think that's a little broccoli plant. Broccoli, it's amazing how close kale and broccoli look, but I'm pretty sure that one's a broccoli. I bunched my pots together, put old plastic over them at night, but I picked several leaves here. I think this is a cauliflower plant. I picked some of those. This, I believe, is a broccoli. I think those are turnips. I picked some of that too. This looks like spinach. Now, I don't know why this must be coming back from last year. That's got to be spinach, you guys. Got to be. Now, that's weird. That's a double. Look at this. Look, that leaf is fused. There's two leaves fused together. Can you see that? Kind of weird. None of the others are like that. Anyway, got some lettuce coming up there. Not all of it came up. I've got rosemary over there. Okay, here's some more sow thistle. I got a lot of sow thistle. I pulled some out just trying to make room for my other plants. But a lot of sow thistle coming up, and this is wonderful this time of year. It's tender and sweet, and I've got a lot of broccoli coming up. This is some of my French sorrel, which the deer had eaten down, but it's coming back. I cut some of that out too, because it didn't look real good. And I thought, I don't want to cut too much, even if it does look a little freezer burnt on the edges. The more leaves, the more covering, and it will save it maybe from freezing, so I'm not going to cut any more out. That's some holy basil that's died back pretty much back there. But yeah, I grouped them, and I put little poles around, and I drape and pin the plastic on at night. Over here, same thing, that these big feed tubs that I'm using. I've got leaves. I'm trying to put it to bed, but I pull the plastic over it at night. Look at that broccoli leaf. Actually, that looks almost kale. That's a kale, I think. It's gigantic. Look at my hand and look at the leaf. Underneath that is some nice lettuce. I've been picking it pretty good. But here, I'm not going to mess with it, I don't think. That's my little lettuces, and they're doing good. These are a little bigger, but I picked them pretty good too. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, I got some pretty good lettuce there. I'd run out of my plastic, but I had been using this to keep the deer from eating my rose bushes and stuff. And it actually protects it a little bit too, I think. It gives it not as much as the plastic, but I've got some roses coming on in there too. Down in there is some pak choi. I've been picking that pretty good too. Look at all the chickweed. I've picked a couple big bunches out of there. Now this is a purple cauliflower. No, this one is purple cabbage, and it's the only one that came up. I planted this all with purple cabbage, and only that one came up. New seeds too. Okay, this looks like broccoli sprouts, but I thought I've been moving my pots around, and this should have been cauliflower plants. But boy, do they ever look like broccoli. Let's see what's going here. I need to spray it. Even in this cold, there's aphids. Ugh. Okay, here's a cauliflower. I don't know what happened. There's another sow thistle in there too. I picked a bunch out of there too. Over here, these little weeds coming up, I picked most of these. That's called garden cress, and it's just a wild weed, but it's called garden cress, and I picked some of that. This is lemon balm. I didn't pick any of that. I don't want lemon balm in my stir fry. No, I just don't. Now this is kale, and I picked a little bit of that. So, I'm trying to save this. I need to come out here and recover. I've been trying to save this tomato plant. The wind has been blowing my covers off, which is not good. But it's little cherry tomatoes. And look over there. I wish I had some more plastic. And still getting tomatoes. But the plant is just about gone. It's really not big enough to do much with. I'm going to try to save it another couple days and see if I can get a little more growth out of it. I have got parsley in here. There's pak choy. The other one is pak choy. This bok choy. I think this is bok choy. The other one's pak choy in that other one. Got a little thing. Oh, I got to tell you something. Never had this happen before. It was so good. Now I lost my shoe. Ow. Ooh, the ground's cold and wet. Ugh, get my shoe back. Okay. This was amazing. And it was still that way. I put my strawberry tower over here by the trailer, and it likes this spot. And even though some of it's dying back, I've already picked off a handful of the most wonderful tasting strawberries I've ever eaten. But then I thought, man, I got to save this. So I have I've got these to hold the plastic off from it somewhat. So I started putting this plastic around it at night. And to save the strawberries, see, I've got more coming. Listen, it's been in the 30s and it's been cold. I've had ice a lot of times. But it likes this little spot right here. So it's doing very well. And they're almost out of dirt in the bottom. This spring was going to try to get some more dirt and put in there. And a lot of them have died back in those ones. But up at the top, they're doing pretty good. My Rosa Sharon is totally asleep. Not dead, just asleep. And then I've got some flowers and stuff here. And this is chard down here. I just moved it over here. That's not real good on that leaf. These look really good, though. Just a small pot. I had just stuck it in there last summer because I had a little plant I needed and I didn't have anywhere to put it. And I've actually been harvesting off that pretty good. So, yeah. It's amazing what you can find and what you can use. So if you're hungry, you need to learn now about the different wild plants like the sow thistle and chickweed and garden cress and stuff like that. Those are very nutritious, very healthy for you. I've got a little tiny greenhouse here, but I don't really have anything much in it. It's just, I do have my stevia to keep it from freezing. It was too heavy to get down the hill I couldn't lift it. So I just stuck it in here. The rest is just stuff for the spring to start plants. This is not a good time of year to do transplants. But I pulled some out of my pots over there because, stupid aphids. I've got to make a garlic mix to spray. Maybe I'll do another video on that if you're interested. I planted this probably a week ago or so, but they're just not transplanting well, and now the aphids are attacking them. I tell you, it's a new breed of bugs coming on that are a lot tougher. I didn't used to have aphids in the cold like this. Okay, what I mainly wanted you to learn from this video, whatever you can learn, but you need to learn these weeds because the bugs don't seem to like them. I haven't found bugs on them. And it's cold and they grow. I get them in the spring, but this fall I've been getting them here really well. Yeah. So these are highly nutritious, very good for you. They grow really easy when nothing else will. And even though I didn't think it'd make any difference, I did have that eggplant over here, and I was trying to cover it with this, and it kept blowing off. So I took it down there, but it shouldn't be alive right now. And it's really struggling, but it is still there, and I still got an eggplant off from it this morning. So even though you think it's the end, you might coax a little bit more out of them. When I didn't have room last summer, now this is a weed that I don't want to eat, just grass weeds. I just stuck them everywhere. I didn't have anywhere, so I stuck this Swiss chard in here with my peppermint. And as you can see, the empty things here, I have been picking that one pretty good. That's rainbow Swiss chard. Hope you got that about the Swiss chard. This is a wild mint that I found and transplanted. It's struggling, but it's making it. It's a little different than my spearmint or my chocolate mint, so a little bit different flavor. We'll see how it does. Looks like it's going to make it, I'm hoping. Mints are pretty tough. So, here's another sow thistle that came up in here. I picked some of it too. But it almost looks like an arrow at the end. And then it has the leaves down, much like a kale does. You know how it has the leaves come off as it goes down the stem. It's not kale though, it's sow thistle. And when it's first coming up, kind of grows in a rosette. Let's see if you can see that here, right here, to the ground, and then comes up. And then later in the summer, it'll grow a stalk up out of that rosette that'll have little yellow flowers. And that's all good too. You know, little flowers and seeds the birds like, but I usually end up eating it all. Now that's a celery, and what I did with that, guys, I'm going to talk in another video how that got there. Got some beets in here, but they're really slow growing. Here's a little tiny sow thistle. I've talked about them in some of my old videos out in the field picking them and stuff. But this is a wonderful plant. It's very good tasting, very mild. It grows, the bugs don't like it. It handles the cold pretty well. And it grows really easy everywhere. I don't know, I'd never planted them in here. I don't know how they got in here. So, I don't know what that is coming up right down there. I'm real curious as to what that is. I don't know if I should right in here. I'll let it grow a little more. No telling, no telling. Anyway, I hope you got some encouragement to use your herbs and your plants. Hope you learned something, and let me know if you did. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and I will catch you all next time. Bye now.